Good morning, colleagues. I hope everyone's doing well. Just gonna stop
Good morning.
sharing.
Good morning.
Morning. Yes. Right. So we are all here to learn some H5P new skills. So I would like to welcome everyone. I see we're a big group. A lot of people did register, but I wanted to allow a little bit more time for everyone to join. At this point in time, we are 21 participants, including myself, Mr. Alphonse Kawike, who will be assisting me, as well as Mr. Owen Lesulu, who will also be assisting in case there are questions that myself and Alphonse cannot answer. Okay, so let us begin. This is going to be I'm just going to take you to where we actually did the testing. And this is then our Moodle page. I'm going to click on courses, and you will not be able to access this because only the staff at SILT have access to this. So I'm going to quickly go to SILT, and I'm going to go to, or rather should I say, Sandbox. Let me just search for Sandbox. And then here's our training. And if I go inside here, you will now see that all of us have created, like this is now, all the colleagues that are here have created their own little testing sites. I want to bring your attention to this. This is where I created the H5P content for this course. So as you can see, editing is not turned on. This is now what a student will see. So if I create a header and I put my content inside and a student clicks on it, they will then be seeing a presentation that I created. And in this presentation, if they go through it, they can then go to the next page. So as you can see, that's myself and Mr. Alphonse Kawike. And then if I go to the next page, and the navigation is easy, you can actually click on these little blue tabs, or you can use the slide switcher here. So if they go to the next tab, there's going to be a question. How many colleagues work at the digital media unit? If they click 3, that's the wrong answer. And it will tell them that this is the wrong answer. So if we retry, if I click 2, which was myself and Mr. Alphonse, it will be correct. And now the student can then continue with the slides. As they go through, as you can see, I embedded a video here. Sorry, it started playing automatically. I'm just going to pause it. So the nice thing is you can actually put videos into your presentations now as well. And this is a direct link from YouTube. So that way you're not, how do I say, either you can create the content yourself, or you can use content that is relevant to what you're explaining in your presentation. And the nice thing is this is not you stealing or plagiarizing from someone, it's just using content. Obviously, you need to make sure that you are allowed to use this for educational purposes, and then you can embed the video. So the student will now obviously watch the video in the presentation. At the end of that, they will go to the next slide and there will be a couple of questions. And all of these assets I put in myself. I'll show you how to do all of this. So now the question is, can you change your Moodle email address? In that video, the answer was, it's a true statement that was made there. So then they can check that and they can get their points. And then if we move to the next slide, what I did here is I basically used my PowerPoint presentation. I exported it as JPEGs or images. And then from there, I just brought the images in, and then I added links to these particular videos on how to do. So you can add links as well. If the student clicks the link, it'll open up a new web page and the student can watch the video. So that's also a way of making the video, like the content, a little bit more richer at the end of the day. Both of these links work. If I click on this one, it will take me to the next video and the student can watch the video. And this is all from a presentation inside of Moodle. So after they've watched the videos, I have set up 2 sets of questions. The student can then answer. This is a multiple choice question. Name 2 of the recording solutions used at UNIM. So they can either say Panopto, which would be correct, but we don't use it anymore. We're trying to get it back. Or so the answers would then be Microsoft Stream as well as Teams. If they say check, great job. You got 2 out of 2. So This is basically the same question again. They can basically just then select the 2 correct answers and say check, and then it's correct. And then this will be the ending slide. But then the nice thing about the content that we can create is at the end, it can show them they got, for this slide, they got 1 out of, so you can actually have a little summary of what actually happened and how they got to the answers. So you can choose to show them the solutions if they got most of it wrong, or you can hide it so that for a, how do you say, for a real world quiz or test, they would have to watch the presentation, answer the questions, and then from there, this would then be a graded mark that you can use for that particular student. So there are a couple of things great things that can happen here. If you want to give them only 1 chance at the presentation, this button will not be seen anymore because it will only be a once off, and the score that they get here will be the final one. But if you are willing to let them try again, they can retry and the presentation will start again and they can go through and answer correctly. Okay, so that's an example of a presentation. Everyone, I would like to bring your attention to the fact that maybe you want to share a PowerPoint presentation that you've already created in the past. As you can see, I've got a PowerPoint presentation here that I use for different things like inductions. Okay, so let's say this is now a presentation that I want to share with my students. How do I go about doing this? To be able to share this presentation, you will now need to export it as images. Each page will need to be exported as an image. So the easiest way to do that would be to go to PowerPoint presentation, open up your presentation, and then from there, file, there should be an export. So let me go to export. So you're going to come to export, you're going to click on export, and you're going to change from PDF, you're going to change it to JPEG. So it's going to create images of each and every slide that you have in your presentation. And then you're going to say export. I'm not going to do that now because I actually did it in the past, and you can see, right? Let me just quickly show you. If I cancel this, I exported it like that. And then if I come to my documentation here, I created a folder and I put out my slides on every page. So this is images that I created for my PowerPoint presentation. And now you can see that they're all available here. Another thing I did for my presentation was I downloaded images of students. And I created images that are PNGs. We can assist you with this if you've got anything that you need in terms of images like this, or any type of graphic content. You can send us a mail. We can see if we can assist you, or then we can try and find it for you to make the process easier for you. So please, maybe just keep that in mind as well. So I didn't create these, but I can find, we can create items like this. So this was just to make the process a little bit faster so everyone can see what is happening in terms of what elements you can add. So I found these, and then I exported my presentation as images to be able to upload them to Moodle and use them accordingly. Okay, so after you've done this, you will then go to Moodle, and I'm going to turn editing on. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of the screen, or the section that I want to add it in. I'm going to say add a new activity, and I'm going to say add H5P activity. And it's going to ask you, what do you want to call this? I'm going to say, let's say presentation. Sorry. Presentation. And now it's going to ask you to select the file that you need to add. Now, because we haven't created any files yet, you need to go to Content Bank. So I'm going to click on Content Bank. It's going to open that up. And what you want to add is add a, what is it called? A course presentation. Click on course presentation. it's going to open up the H5P content. And this is then the entry screen that you will then add all your content to. To give you more slides, are we all together? If you want, you can even open up your course and you can follow along if you want to. And let me quickly show you, and then from there, we will then give you an opportunity to try and do the same thing on your side. And then we will assist, we will allow you to share your screen, and then we will assist you from our side. So for now, I'm going to name my title of this is going to be interactive presentation. And then to add more slides, because it's only going to give you one slide now, you can click the add new slide button, which is right over here. Add the plus button and it will add more slides on. It will also add slides in where you select. So if I select here, it'll add slides behind that. And if I click here, it will add slides right over there. So it's also important that you note where you are in case you want to add more slides. Let's say I wanted to add more slides after slide 12. I will then add a slide and it will move to slide 13. If I wanted to add a slide on slide 6, I'll click add and it will add a slide after 6, becoming 8. I mean 7 becoming 8. To get rid of slides, if you've got too many slides, let's say I've got 15, 15 is too many, I can then say delete slide. I can delete as many slides as I want. For this presentation, I'm going to be using 4 slides just to quickly demonstrate how it works. So I'm just going to delete all these slides. And I will just leave myself with 4 slides. All right, great. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 slides. So on the first slide, remember we exported the PowerPoint presentation to be images, right? So now what I can do is I can come to the top here and you can see there's a whole toolbar here. It's text, there's this link, there's images, there's shapes, there's video content, there's go to slide, something you can put on your, let's say I want to put on this slide, I want to put a go to slide. So I can add that in here where it says click me to go to beginning. If the student clicks on that, it will jump directly back to slide 1. So that's what this is for. Then you can record an audio that you quickly explain something, and you can also embed that inside the presentation. And at the same time, you can fill the blanks. You can create, this is like a question type, so you can fill the blanks. You can add single choice, you can add multiple choice, true or false, and drag and drop, as well as a summary that you can add. There are there's quite a number of other things you can add here as well. But just to keep it straight, today we're going to be working with links, text, images, as well as shapes, and maybe a video. I think we can put in a video as well if we want to. Okay, so for the first slide, I will then add an image. I'm going to click on add an image. It's going to ask me where do I want the diameters of my image, but because nothing has been added yet, I can then say add an image. And now it's going to allow you to navigate to where you want to add the images. So remember, I created a little folder where I've saved all my images inside. This is slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. So this is my presentation slides. Then I can select the first page and I can say open. And it's going to ask you, it's a good idea just to say an alternative text, first page, and then you're going to click done. And it will add the page. And now all you need to do is just resize it. And you can see to resize it, I can just click on the corner and drag it out. And I click at the top corner and I can drag it out. So you can then and the nice thing is it clicks, it's basically moving in clicks. So I can move it to the center of the screen and just leave it there. Or if I want it, if it doesn't warp it too much, I could then select the side and drag it out. And this still looks good, but I would say don't do that. Just keep it its original size. So then you can just keep it like that. So that's going to be the first page of this presentation. So this is the introduction page. Let's say for the second page, I wanted to maybe add some content for my students again, and now I'm going to add it with an image again. I click on image. I can now maybe add another slide from my presentation. I think I'm going to take this slide where we are, and I can add that. And I'm going to say slide 2. I'm going to say done. And I'm just going to resize it to the size that it needs to be. And then you can move it to where you want it. All right. And then for the fourth slide, I'm going to make a question here. So my students can answer a question for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another image. What I can do is I can use shapes to make it look attractive. And the way we do when we're adding shapes is we drop this down. So you got a choice of shapes. You got squares, circles, lines, horizontal lines, and vertical lines. So I'm just going to use this square shape. I click on the square. It's going to give me a bunch of options that are available here. So what I would primarily focus on here is changing the color to something that you like. So let's say I'm going to make it red. I'm going to say choose, and then I'm going to say done. Now it's going to add a block to my screen. Then I can resize it maybe to halfway. So it looks nice. So I've got white. So what I can do is I can ask the question on this side, and I can have the answers on this side if I wanted to do it like that. Okay, but now let's say I wanted to make it look a little bit more attractive. I wanted to maybe bring in another image. So what I could do is I could say, add another image. And you remember those little images that I had about the students, like thinking? And maybe choose an icon like that. And you got to remember now these have got no background. So there's no white or anything that's going to be shown. It's just going to utilize the background of the slide. So what I can do is I can maybe select one of these. Maybe this lady is thinking. I can add that and say the image is called thinking, and then I can say done. So now I can resize this one as well and just pop it in there on the side. So it kind of looks a little bit more interesting than just a red and white section. You can then put that in as well. So I want to bring your attention to the fact that if you click on the images, you get this little toolbar at the top here. So let's say maybe I don't want this. I can then delete it if I didn't want it, or I can edit it if I wanted it bigger. Or if, let's say I wanted to change the color, I click on edit, and I want maybe she's wearing an orange shirt, so maybe I should make this image a little bit more orange. Choose that and say add. So now these two kind of look the same together. Another thing that you can do is these two buttons here. This is send to back and bring to front. So let's say I wanted to have this square maybe more than half over the screen. Let me just minimize this because it's going to be difficult to work with. Okay, I want to show you exactly how this works. Let me just stretch that down. So let's say I wanted this image to maybe be to about there, right? What I need to do now to bring this image to make it look very nice together like that, I would then click on this one and I would say send to back. So they will go behind, because if I bring it to front, it's going to cut her like that. So then I will say send to back. And then this one, I will say bring to front. And then I can move it in front here, even if I wanted to. So it will be on top like that. Okay. I hope that's not too confusing. If I send this to back, it's going to be behind the line. If I bring it to the front, it's going to bring it to the front. So let me just move this thing quickly back. I'm going to bring this to front, and I'm going to move it back to the halfway line, right about there. So now I've got two nice elements. So now I can think to myself, do I want to, what question do I want to ask? The previous slide, we go back to the previous slide. This is about two colleagues who are in this department. So maybe I could set up that question again. How many colleagues work in digital media units? So what I can do is I can go single answer question, because there's only two colleagues there, and perhaps there's only going to be one answer. It's either going to be 1, 2, or 3. So what I can do is I can add that in. So let me just quickly delete this again. So once again, I'm going to come to single choice set. I click on that, it's going to give me this option. So now I can go just change this title. You can either keep it untitled. I will take out the untitled and I will just keep it single choice set. Maybe 1. Now we're going to ask the question. How many colleagues work in the digital media section of SILT? Okay, so I can add the question. Sometimes you spell incorrectly. It's a nice thing that's going to help you with the spelling as well. Just give me a second, guys. All right. Okay, so once again, you can add the question now. How many colleagues work in the digital media section at SILT? Put a question mark. And now you can add your answers. For some reason, it pops in a second question as well, but you don't have to answer that. You can just click this. And to delete things, you need to confirm. Okay, so there's our question. Now we're going to add answers. We're going to add 1. Alternative answer could be 2. And then you add another question, could be 3. So now it's going to list 1, 2, 3, and it's going to randomize it so that students can select which one they think is correct. What is important is, as you can see, I listed 1 in the first option that was available. Unfortunately, your first answer is always the correct one. So I'm going to need to change this around and change this to 2. And then 2, I will change to 1. So now I still have the option 1, 2, and 3. No, I added a question. I'm supposed to add an answer. 3. Okay, so as you can see, 2 is correct, 1 is not correct, and 3 is not correct. So if I wanted, I could now say if you get 0 out of 0 to 1, you can then put feedback here. Remember, you saw that great work. You can add this in if you wanted to. I think for this, I'm going to just, I'm going to say great work. If they were actually paying attention. And then I can say done. So this is now my question being added in. I can put the question at the top here and I can resize it to fit the space I want it to fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this down a bit. I'm going to select it, just drag it down to about there. So now this question has been set up. I don't have to test it. I'll test it at the end. And at the end, so what I'm going to do now in the next slide is I'm going to add an image and I'm going to create 2 links to that image for, let's say, a video that's externally based. I'm going to give it a heading. So yeah, let me just keep it simple. I'm going to add an image. I'm going to go to the presentation where I had this one, Teams. I'm going to put this image in. This is slide 4. I'm going to say done. Then I'm going to resize this. And after I resize it, you can then see that this is now the image that is going to be in the front. What I'm going to do preemptively now is I'm going to send this image to the back. So whatever else I put on top will be in front. I'm going to send it to the back. Just click on send it to the back and then click off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a link. I can maybe click this link. It's going to ask me, what is this? This is, I'm going to say, tutorial for MS Teams. And now I'm going to need a URL link. So it would be best to link videos that are on YouTube or then on our other platform, which is Stream. You can link these videos directly there as well. I did find that it gives you an error when you link it to Steam. So the best one, I would say, for you to just add a video would be to add one from a playlist on YouTube. I do know for a fact that if we upload to Moodle, it's going to take up a lot of space, so we don't want to do that, like adding video content directly to Moodle. So the best way to add video content would be to use a link. And let me quickly show you how to add a video. Let's say maybe this was the video I wanted my students to watch. I could then click on the video, so it opens up. So I pause that. So when the video starts, what's important here is share. And I come down to share, click on share, and it's going to give you the URL link to this video. I'm going to click copy. I'll close that again. And I go back to my Moodle page that I was creating, or resource I was creating. I'm going to paste it in. Then you can ask you always display comments. You don't want to do that because you don't have control of what comments are put on this or any other YouTube video. So it would be a good idea not to put the comments in, and then you don't have to change any of the opacities or anything like that. And I'm just going to say done. Then it will add the link to your page like that. You can resize it by once again just grabbing a corner and closing it up, and then you can move it to where you want the student to be able to click it. So the student clicks on that, it's going to take them to that video. And the same is for this. You can add as many links as you want. Or let's say you wanted to add some text now. So I'm going to add it. Click on the text block. Let me just show you what I did there. I want to add some text to this document. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add text. Click on text. I'm going to say, this is the end of my presentation. And then I can select all of it, and I can make it bold. I can change the size. I can maybe make it a heading 2. And the nice thing here is you can change the alignment. So you can have it right aligned, you can center aligned, or you can have it right aligned, left aligned. This is left aligned, right, center aligned, and right aligned. So I'm going to keep mine as right aligned. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to be resizing the box. So I would then say, just keep it left aligned. And then we're going to add that. So now you can see at the top, it added the text in. So you can stretch it out and move it down to the bottom here. I don't like the size I made this. I would maybe want to make it smaller. So now I'm going to click the edit tool. And where I changed it to heading 2, you can now change it to maybe heading 3. I can say done. And then we can preview how that looks. Okay, that looks good. It's much better. It's actually big enough for students to see, so I can resize that. And I can place it where I want. And this will then indicate that this is the end of the presentation. Or if I wanted to, I could just add another slide. Go back to my slide that I just created. And click on this. And I can, in the corner here, let's say I want to duplicate this. I would then say, okay, no, okay, that's how you paste it. This is how you copy it. So let's say I want to copy this from here. I want to copy this to the other page. So I would come up here, click on copy, click on this page, and I would paste. And then it'll be there. So I can then put it in the middle of the screen if I wanted to. Now we can resize this thing. Let's say we want to make it heading 2 again, and then put it in the center. Say done. And now we can leave it there. So this now is the end of the presentation. This is our section where now I can just click on this and delete it. And then this is our link. Here's our questions. This is our information. And this is the beginning of the presentation. So these are all the different pages that we have created so far. And now if I'm happy with this, I can just say, I'm going to make this a number 101. And I'm going to say save. So that was my presentation then created. I basically created this presentation. It's an asset now, and I can add this to any course or any activity I want to add this to. Whew, that was a mouthful. Once you've created it, you can edit it again and you can change it around. You can chop and change. For example, Let me just quickly go to the course now. So this is what I've created, right? This content is ready to be added to the course. So I've saved it. Let me quickly go. This is 101. I'm just going to remember the name. 101. So I'm going to exit this. And you can see now it's been added to my content bank. As you can see, it's been added interactive presentation 101. It's right there. So what I need to do now is I can either review it again. So if I click on this, it's going to open it up. And then I can review the things that I've done here. Then, oh no, I should have, let's say for instance, oh no, I should have added another couple of questions, or I need to add 2 more slides. This is now straightforward. I can just click on edit. I can select where I want to add the 2 new slides. Let's say maybe I wanted to add the 2 new slides at this point, slide 4, and click on add slide and add slide again. So that's 2 more slides added. I can go ahead and add the content. For instance, now I can maybe just bring in another image from my presentation. I could maybe select this, and add that in. I would say this is then slide, if I can remember correctly, this would be slide 5. Say done. Resize my slide to the size that I need it. Go to my next slide. This would be slide 6. Could add maybe another question. Let's say I'm going to go to my students. I'm going to add an image of them thinking to answer the question. Say thinking 2. I'm going to add that. I can resize this to the size that I want. And then I can maybe go, this time I can maybe go with a true or false question. If I click a true or false, I would remove the untitled. And I'm going to say this is set 1. The question will be, is it true? It doesn't say anything. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not use the word true. But let me just quickly check what the. Let's say delete. I just want to see what the other slide was about. Quickly go to this slide. This is about open cost. All right, true or false. So what I need to do is I'm going to add a true or false question once again. Add that. I'm going to say, let's remove this from the beginning. Put a T. I'm going to say, is open cost tool active on Moodle? Let's say, for instance, that's the question I wanted to ask. The answer would be true. And then I would say done. So now I can move this to where I want it. What's important is sometimes you'll see it like this. What's important for you is just to scroll down on this little lever here. And then if you see that there's space at the bottom, that means there's something is being hidden. So all you need to do is just move that down so that you can see that check mark. So now the student can click on true or can click on false and add that. If you want to change any of the aspects here, you can, once again, the nice thing about this is if you highlight it, you can then decide if you want to have the text centered. It's always important when you at the questions section, just to highlight the text to be able to get this little pop-up. It pops up, and then you can select whether you want to have it in a bigger font size, if you want it as a heading, if you want to make it even bolder, if you want to have it centered. All of these options are available there. So if I click save now, no, not save. This is for the saving of Ultimate. You need to come to done. I click on done. You will see that the font size has changed. It actually looks a little bit nicer now. I can leave that there. And then I can say save. So I added 2 more slides. I added in an image to my slide. I can actually review that now. If I click on slide 4 where I added the slides, if I go to slide 5, a new slide has been added. And if I go to slide 6, the new question has been added. The student can answer and go through as well. Then now you will see in the summary that there are 2 questions that were actually asked in this whole presentation, and the student can answer those questions. So yes, this is a very, very, how do I say, user-friendly type of presentation where you can add, let's say you made a mistake, you can go back and edit it quickly, you can add more things in. And yeah, so that was the presentation. But this is basically a practical as well, because we will then the I think on on the invitation it also said that this has got a practical side to it. So we will have a hands-on process with you colleagues as well. So please, because that aspect is now very true, um, we would like you to maybe try and and do this if you can. Just we're going to give you maybe like 10 minutes, and then you try on your side. If you have issues, we can then from our side try and assist you with that.
Share. Yes, it's where I am.
Okay, remember what I said.
And
Remember what I said. You need to go down to content bank. No,
sorry,
you were
can you
right there.
repeat?
You were right there. You were right there. Go scroll down a bit. There we go. Content bank.
This.
Yebo. There we
Then
go. Now you can see there's no content available, right? Click add. Now scroll down to C. Slowly, slowly, slowly. There we go. There it is. Course presentation. Right there. All right. Now it opens it up. Now you can scroll down, you can give it a title, and you will see that your slides are at the bottom. There's one slide. You can add more slides. All right. So this is basically where you need to be.
slide 1 is
You can add another slide. Yes, add another slide. Okay, so now it's up to you. How many slides do you think you need? Do you want to use?
only 4 for now.
All right, so no, don't save. Don't save. You need to scroll up to the top. Just scroll so you can see the slide. Okay, a little bit more down. Scroll down a bit more. Just scroll down a bit more. There, okay. Now here by the blue line, you can click on the first one. Click on the first one. Okay, now you can start adding your content.
Add the content, it's where now?
This is at the top. You're looking at it right now. So now you can click either an image, you can click a link, you can put text if you want. Maybe just click text. Let's click text. Yes. You can say welcome students. Okay. Let's highlight the text. All of it. Let's quickly click on bold, the B. Yes. Okay, let's click on paragraph. No, keep it highlighted. Okay, now we can go to here where it says paragraph. At the top, where it says paragraph. Yeah, click on that. Now you can change it to a bigger font if you want. Yes, okay, that looks good. Let's click, okay, scroll down to the bottom. Now say done, not save, done. Yes. Okay, there you've got your first slide. You can resize this, you can do what needs to be done.
Slide 2?
Yeah, you can go to slide 2. Now you can maybe add, if you want, you can add a question.
Text.
No, question would you, this is not text. Now go to any of the questions. Yeah, so here, continue. Yes, so you got single question there. You got multiple choice is the next one. You got true or false. So you can choose which question you want to add. You're adding a true and false question, okay? Go ahead and name it. Just ask a question.
Madam Frida, are you still stuck? Frida Washea?
So you can select. That's, you see, you're doing a great job so far.
Yeah. There where it's clicked through. That is true, yes.
Yes. Okay. So scroll down to the bottom. Now you can say done, and now you can resize it.
Yo, this is very interesting.
No, okay, wait quickly. Remember, I told you that if the blue marker shows that there's a big space at the bottom, you need to drag this thing down because they need to be able to. So you just drag it down a bit more. Down. That check needs to be in because they need to click that after they've answered the question.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so you can go to the next slide.
I don't save.
If you want to end now, you can save because the saving is just for exiting the whole process now. So let's say now maybe you want to add an image. Do you have an image on your computer?
No.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do a shape. Take a shape. You can choose if you want a circle or a, yeah, okay. You can choose the color. Maybe you want a pink or a yellow or a green.
I click.
Okay, so now, yeah, now you can go, just take your cursor back to the color. The green part,
Here.
no. The box, yeah. Just click. That's, you need to select which color, which grain you want or which texture you want. So yeah. Okay, if you're happy with that, you can say choose. Yes. Okay, say now you can say done.
I should remember the done.
Yes, you should remember the done, not the save. Now you can even put a question inside that box now if you want.
Should I go back how now?
No, it's fine.
I
You
want
can. Okay, so let's say delete. Just click delete and confirm. Okay. So I deleted that now. Now you can put in whatever you want there.
context.
Okay, you want to put text in. Okay, click on text. Okay, now
No,
you can.
I want to type there in the box because you were typing.
Okay, no, that's fine. What you can do now is you can just type what you want. Type what you
The
want.
shape.
Yeah, type whatever you want. Okay, maybe. Okay, so you want to ask a question. You want to ask a question, right? So copy this. Okay, so copy this text. Right click. Copy. Okay, I know what you want to do. So let's close. Just say delete. No, don't done. Delete. Okay, so you're gonna come to questions on the, so here by the speaker, you're gonna come to the one off the speaker. So come to the little speaker sound. Yeah, the next one, and then the next one. Click on that one. Yes. No, go back. Yes, click there. Okay, so now you can come to the question and paste. Paste. Okay, so the first answer will be a square.
Right square.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, then the next question will be a circle, maybe. Okay, you need to take your mouse and put it here by add answer. Add answer. Not there. No, right underneath circle. Right underneath circle.
Yeah.
Add another answer, yes? Okay, now you can maybe say rectangle or prism or whatever. Okay, close this. Oh, hereby it says question and alternatives.
Close.
Close it, yes. There's an X. There's an X right on the side. Just close that, yes, confirm. Okay, great. Now we're going to scroll to the bottom. Scroll to the bottom. and then you say done. Okay,
So
now you can resize this. Just take that down.
now let's check.
Okay, so let's click on the square. This question doesn't have a check. This question does not have check, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's also the important thing. You need to check the questions and see if they need a check button or not. So let's click on the green at the top. Okay, just click on the green at the top, and now you can click it in the corner and just pull it up. Don't or just resize it. Resize it the way you want it. To at least form a square. You can make it bigger. I would say make it big, make it bigger, make it bigger.
So that I can remove it.
No, you're not gonna remove it. Just make it bigger.
Okay.
Okay, now you can move it to the center of the screen. Some more. Okay, and now you can click on the text and you can center it. It's actually good where it is. So now the question is, what is the name of this shape? And this maybe the question should be, what is the name of the green shape?
Yeah.
So let's click on the edit button. It's right. So if you look at the blue text that's around the box, it's the pencil. Click on the pencil. Yes. Now you can change the question. The green shape. Okay, let's go to the bottom, save. Okay, done. Yeah, that's correct. You're done. All right. So you've added your second question now. Maybe you can just pull the square at the bottom a little bit bigger. Yeah, right there. Good. And you can put it where you want to on the screen. Maybe you can go to the next slide if you want, or if you're done, you can then just save and we can continue.
Save.
Save, okay. Oh yeah, you need to name it. So save presentation 1. And save. Okay, so now
Okay.
if you come down, scroll down just a little bit. Okay, so there's your presentation. Now the students will see this. So welcome students. So click on the next page. Okay, next one. There's your true and false question. You can answer it if you want. Then you click check.
Check.
There we go. Okay, then you click on the next page.
Okay, let me do like this.
So retry. So retry again.
The student can do the retry, or it's only me who can do the retry because
No, you can make it. That's what I'm saying. I can also show you now how to change it so they can't retry. But if you set it up with like the default settings, the students will have the retry. If you don't want them to retry, let's click on edit, the red edit button. Yeah. Now we're going back inside. Presentation, let's go down. Next slide. Where the question was, I think it's on slide 3. Slide 3.
you are fan, Andre.
I'm fading, but you can click on slide 3.
Where?
The third slide, the third slide. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's click on the question.
Click on the question.
Yeah, click on the question. And then you click on the pencil.
I should click where?
On the pencil.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to go down to the bottom. Scroll down. Okay, right here. Let's really go up again a little bit. No, just go up a little bit. Just scroll up a little bit. Behavior. Yeah, about behavior settings. Now drop that down. So here you can say enable retry button. You see, so you can switch it on and you can switch off. So if you don't want them to retry, you can just switch that off. If you want them to retry, you can then just, and this is under behavior.
Okay, so it's under behavior, like question behavior.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, done. Now you can basically, okay, so let's say save here. Let's go down to the bottom, say save. Okay, so now if this is now what the student sees again. So if they go to, let's go to that slide, slide 3. We didn't change this one, so they will have a retry here again. But if you go to the next slide, this is one we changed. If they click that, you chose the correct answer now, so they're actually going to get that right. But there's no retry button, you see. It's been taken out.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
So now if you come to the end, you'll also see the summary. So once again, you can use this as formative assessment, or you can use this as just a assessment to keep the students engaged while they're watching or going through your presentation.
Yeah.
And now? Still the same?
Yes, we can see your screen now. So, okay.
Okay, so this is what I create. Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, now all you need to do here now is say test 1 or H5P test.
I write test 1 here.
Yeah, if you want, this is like this, or you can say H5P test.
H5P test, okay?
Okay, now what's important here is you scroll down, you see here you need to add the files now. Okay?
Here
you need to add the files now, but because you don't have any files yet, you need to come down to Content Bank. Use the Content Bank, open in a new window.
Where is it?
Right there, the red text underneath. Right, your.
Oh, use content. All right.
So if you click on that, it's going to bring you to the H5P interface now. Now you can select Add.
Yeah.
And then you scroll down to. There we go. It was there. Go up. Course presentation.
Course presentation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. There we go. Yes. Now it adds it starts loading it. And now you can start creating.
I see. All right, then you start to create, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I get it now. Because I was struggling to get to this part. Okay.
All right, okay. Okay, cool.
All right.
I think that, okay, you can just stop sharing now. I just want to show the colleagues something from my side again. So I want to show colleagues quickly. Let's say you've created your course. We've created this now. I'm going to say share screen. Let's say you've created this activity. So now it's all good and well. You've got this now in your content bank, right? How do I get what I've got in my content bank into my course? That is going to be the next question. So you remember what I did? Let's just quickly say here, cancel. So what I did in my course is I came to the H5P test and I added an activity. I clicked on add H5P. And because I created the activity now already, I know that there is content inside my content bank, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say test 1, or let's say H5P test 1. And to add the file to this now, I need to click on add file. And it will usually come to this type of setup where it says server links. Okay, what you can do, you can see at the top it says content bank, right at the top there. Now click on content bank. It'll now open up all the activities that I've created inside my content bank, right? Now I can scroll down to the presentation that I want to add, whether it be the first one I made or the second one I made. If I select that, it's going to ask me all these. I'm going to say make a copy of the file. or you can link it directly. I usually like to make a copy because I like to have edit them individually in case I use them in different courses. And all you're gonna do is select file. It's gonna load it. You're gonna go down to the bottom and you say save and display. It's gonna take a little bit of time to calculate the grades. There's no grades inside, but yeah, you say continue. And now I'm in preview mode, and this is now once again what my students sees. Now the content has been added to my course, and my students can now go through the content, answer the questions, and see the presentation, and then see the answers as well. And if I go to the top again, so if I go back to my course, if I go back to the course now, I'll just click on the course again. Remember, I added at the bottom of the course. If I scroll down to the bottom, you will see now that the H5P has indeed been added to the course and it is active. My students can watch it and they can go through it and answer the questions. So that is how you add it to the course. So there are two steps. I'm going to show you again. I'm going to add the activity to this section here. I'm going to say add activity. I'm going to click add H5P. I'm going to name it H5P test 2. If I don't have content, I need to click on content bank to create the content. If I have already created content, I don't have to go to content bank. I can just go to add files and click add files. I'm going to navigate to content bank and I'm going to add my presentation in. I'm going to make sure I make a copy of it, or I'm going to add it. I'm going to link it directly this time, and I'm going to say save. And now it's been added. And all you need to do now is scroll to the bottom of the screen and say save and display. It's going to recalculate. All you do is you click continue, and your presentation will now be added to the course. This is now my second presentation that was added, with the students being able to answer questions if they want to answer them. And just to make sure that it's in the course, I can go back to my course as a whole and scroll down to the bottom, and you will see that two activities have now been added. It's test 1 and test 2. And if the students click on it, they will be able to see this content for the presentation. And then if I go back, they will be able to see this presentation as well. All right, colleagues. So yes, we are very close to the end of our training session here now. I hope that this was kind of informative. I hope that you could actually use this. I'm going to, if you can all just open the chat, I'm going to quickly share our a form. It shouldn't take you long. It shouldn't even take you a minute. It should be less than that. It's an evaluation form of this training. And then there you can also suggest what you would like us to do in future. Maybe if you want us to split it up, because I realize now after going, you see, they usually say that once you go through the process, you can actually start evaluating whether it works or not. And I think it did work, but the content was a lot. So I think all of us can agree that today was a bit heavy. I think this must maybe be broken up into a little bit more, a wider spectrum, maybe a smaller portion in the beginning, and then as we go, we can then become more advanced on our journey. So I'm just sharing this program, this form with you. You can just click on that and you can give us feedback in terms of what you thought of the training, how clear you thought I was, the assistance you got, and then the hands-on practical that we did, the demonstrations we went through, etc. You can also give some advice to how we could maybe improve it, if possible. So I would really appreciate it that you go through, that you maybe just answer this. Like I said, it's not going to take long. It's not going to be a very long thing. There's about, I think, 9 questions, but they are questions you can select answers from. So the answers are there. You can, it's strongly agree, strongly disagree. So it's very, very straightforward in terms of that. So if we could get your feedback for this, that would be very, very much appreciated. This feedback is used for our IPSs as well as our steps to actually improve our training. So this does help us a lot. So please feel free to just fill that out. On that note, please remember to fill out the form. We would really appreciate it if you could do that for us. And then, yeah, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming. Mr. Alphonse, would you like to say a couple of words?
No, Andre, no, I'm fine. Did you tell them that we can also train on a one-on-one? Did you discuss with the team?
Okay, no, I didn't know. Yes, I also wanted to maybe say that, yeah, should you have issues, you can feel free to contact us by email. We can set up a training session for you. Or, yeah, if you want to do one-on-ones as well, we can also assist you with those. All right, colleagues, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being part of the training.
Thank you.
All the colleagues who took part in and participated, we really, really appreciate you. So yes.
Thank
And we
you.
look forward to the link.
All right, great.
All right.
All right, colleagues, then I'm gonna close the meeting now. Thank you so much for attending.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.